Hello, friends, and welcome. Namaste. So most all you all know, but just in case, and you're just doing your first 20-minute video, and it's my first one since I've been back. But I am in Walla Walla, Washington. Welcome to Pioneer Park. That was what we are in as I film this, and we're just going to start by I call it getting back. Is kind of how I'm thinking about it. Maybe you've been doing the videos all along and you've been really active, but my friends who just follow me as I go, we've been on break for 2 weeks. So let's just get back into our bodies and back into this practice. Let's start on our backs, actually. And so once you get down on your back, let's all of us, unless for some reason it's just, there's a lot of discomfort or pain, do constructive rest pose. That's the one where our feet are on the ground and our knees are bent. We're going to walk our feet a little wider than our hips and let the knees just gently lean in towards the midline, right? They don't have to touch. We just want them to soften in and the muscles of the hips to release and let go. So as you find yourself lying here, your arms can come out with your palms up. If you want to keep your hands on your body in some capacity, please do. But try to find that open chest, that open upper back, and let that kind of help you decide where your arms and your hands can be today. And as often is the case, bringing us into that internal world. I can't talk today. Bringing us internally, we'll say. And so if that means taking a few moments and recognizing your external world, right, making sure that you feel safe here, and if there's anything you can do to support yourself more, to feel a little safer, do that. Yeah. Make sure the nervous system knows it's okay and we can relax and release here. And once you've done that, consider slowing down all of the visual stimuli that's coming in. So that might be casting the gaze down. That might be closing the eyes. As you take that visual stimulation out, simply begin to notice the breath. And, that's just invitation, of course. Everything I say is an invitation and not an expectation. And if you are paying attention to the breath, just notice any movement the breath creates in the body. There's no right or wrong with this. This shouldn't be moving in this way and this way. We're just simply noticing if the belly moves at all. If the chest and or the ribs move when you breathe. If so, if they do, how so? Do the nostrils move? Maybe they flare a little bit, maybe they don't. And anything else I might not have named off that has movement from the breath. And then we're going to start into movement fairly quickly since it's just the 20-minute video. Leave your legs as they are, but bring your arms in by your side with your palms facing each other or towards the midline, I could say. And then don't be rigid with it, really softly and gently. Minimal muscular effort is always how I think about it. Inhale the right arm up and over any amount. And exhale, bringing that down. So we're not going out to the side, we're going up to the sky and alongside our ear-ish, right? So inhale, right arm, just the right arm for now. And exhaling it down. And if you're on a different breath than I am, sorry, please feel free. I'm going to turn my head to the right as my right arm reaches overhead and let my neck separate from my shoulder, if that feels beneficial. And then do that one more time if you're enjoying this. When you come back, just pause for a moment. Notice if the upper right body feels any different than the left from the motions we just did. And then when you're ready, inhale, let the left arm lift up and over. No movement of the head at first. Isolate it Pardon me, exhale it down, isolate it in the shoulder a little more, right? And just notice, bring all your awareness into the shoulder girdle and everything that's attached to it, right? Maybe you're feeling this more in the side of the ribs, etc. But just notice what you notice. And then the next two, if you want, let your head just gently rock over to the right as the arm reaches overhead. There is no right or wrong with this stuff. One of the main things we're trying to do is, yes, we are trying to get into the body, right? Become more embodied. When you come back, come into a resting pose. If you want to move the arms away from the side body, just pause and notice your upper body. But we're using this practice to be in the present moment and to build an intimate relationship with our body, many other things, but those are the main things I'm pointing out this morning. Walk your feet into hip distance. Bring the right knee into the chest and simply hug it in. You can use your hands for that or your belly muscles. I like to use my hands in the beginning of class and not my belly muscles so the belly can be soft and I can bring that knee in and let my low back round. But whatever your preference is wonderful. And then we're going to go wide with the right knee, almost like half child's pose. And then go ahead and bring that back, put the foot down, bring the left knee in, maybe using hands, maybe not. Maybe hugging that knee and letting the low back round and soften. And then maybe moving that left knee out to the left a little bit. When I do that, my left foot comes into the midline, like wherever your foot goes. There's no specific place it should go, but allow it to move in if it wants to. And then come back to center and put that foot down. So we're going to add on. As you bring the right leg up, bring it over to the right. This time you're going to go into half happy baby. That's where you walk on the sky. You grab your outer leg or pinky edge of the pinky foot. I said that wrong. The pinky edge of the foot. Try that again. Let the left leg lay out if that's okay in the body. And then we're going to do a rocking motion. So I pull my right leg down. My knee moves towards the ground. My left hip lifts when I do that. And then I release that. And do that a couple of times for yourself. Just allowing the pelvis to have some freedom of movement here. Every time you pull the knee a little closer to the earth, the right knee. And I'm going to bring my hips back down, the left knee up, and then release the right foot back down and pause for one breath, noticing. And then the other side. So I bring my knee to center and over to the left, just like I did earlier. Then I walk on the sky or the ceiling. I obviously have sky, and grab something on the outer left leg with that left hand. I can let my right leg lay out if that feels okay in my hip girdle. And then I just gently rock my pelvis by way of pulling my left knee, my left leg, right down towards the ground on that left outer side of my rib cage. I am not speaking very well today. I apologize, friends. Hopefully it's clear enough to get the motions down. And then my hips come back down, bring the right knee up, bring the left foot to the ground and pause. Walk the feet about as wide as the mat, tee the arms out, and then just let the pelvis rock with windshield wiper, right? So slightly different kind of rocking. Not always, but this often starts to wake up the front of the hips and the thighs a little bit. Add on to it if it's right for you. The next time you go to the right, you're going to stay there. You could keep moving on the breath, of course. Let the left knee, the top knee, move forward. It kind of pulls towards that foot side, that right foot side of the mat. So open the left hip and thigh. And coming up to center, knees over to the left. And again, it's the top leg right now is your right leg. Reach the right leg forward and to the left. So towards the foot side of the mat. And breathe into that opening in the front of the right hip and thigh. Come back to center, walk the feet in. You're just going to do a couple of pelvic tilts. You can bring the arms in or leave them where they are. The hips don't lift, but rather I just rock across the back of my pelvis towards my tailbone and then towards the upper rim of my pelvis. So again, I leave the weight down and I'm simply rocking back and forth on the pelvis. Or I guess maybe up and down might make more sense than back and forth. And then the next time that you pull the belly down, pull the knees up and in, and use a little bit of belly strength, rock yourself up and come up to seated. Put your right shin in front of your left, get nice and tall, And then go ahead and do a couple of Sufi circles. Other direction. Again, everything's going to be slightly truncated in these 20-minute videos, but hey, at least we got 20 minutes of yoga. I think that's wonderful anytime I can get even that. Walking those hands forward, gently folding in. Remember, hinge from your pelvis. And hopefully we wake up that low back a little bit. So maybe rocking a little bit, swaying. I always think of it, the shoulders back and forth from right to left. And then we're going to walk the hands over to the left, reach that right arm forward and away, soften in. And then coming back to center, come on up. Let's put that left shin in front. We'll go right into the forward fold, folding forward over the legs, hinging at the pelvis, the hip joint, as it were, maybe swaying a little bit side to side again, just trying to hopefully wake up the lower and side, kind of where the pelvis and the low back meet. And then walk over to the right, reaching that left arm forward and away, and breathe into that stretch. Come back to center, come on up, and hands and knees. From hands and knees, a couple of cat-cows, waking that spine up in flexion and extension. And back to center, and then I call it wag your tail. Wag your tail to the right, look over your right shoulder, and then you'll wag your tail to the left and look over your left shoulder. And I had someone ask me in class the other day, if you let the hips move. Yeah, if they want to. If they don't want to, you don't have to force them in anything. But if they can, and if they do want to move, it's just going to bring the spine. If you think about it, and I was up above you looking down, bird's eye view, we would call that. You would be making a really shallow shape of a C and a reverse C. I call it C curve and reverse C curve. Come on back to center. And then go into child's pose with the lower body. Leave the upper body a little bit up. You're going to take the right hand and feed it past the left wrist, inner wrist, and reach way over and see if you can set the side of the head down. If it can't get down, you can make a fist with the left hand. You could put a block underneath it. And then try to soften that upper right back of the shoulder, upper arm. And hopefully somewhere through there, you're feeling a little bit of lengthening coming into those muscles and the fascia. Take a breath. And then come on up to center. We're going to come the other way. So that left hand reaches past the right inner wrist. Reach it over. I mean, don't get crazy with it, but reach it over a good deal. Get that head on something. I like to soften my right forearm down for this particular version. And then again, just notice where you feel the stretch. Hopefully, we're getting some length through that upper left back, shoulder blade area, back of shoulder, upper arm. Come on back to center. And you could either just do an active or extended is the actual translation, child's pose, or you could take that up into downward dog. You get to choose the one that feels right for you. Feel free to pedal the legs a little bit and invite more length into the back of the legs. And then, as I almost always teach, right, we're going to hold it for 2 breaths and quote stillness, but we want to be completely still with the knees a little bent. Push those hands forward and down, find the length of the spine, then add the leg straightening any amount. They never have to be all the way straight. Breathe into that stretch that you're feeling in the back of your body. And then we're going to bring the knees down for an easy transition. Step that right foot forward. And if you're like, I want more, go ahead and take it. I'm not going to take it away from you. But also remember, we're just getting back into this, right? Left hand under the shoulder, right hand on the thigh. Inhale, length, and exhale, turning towards the right. So I can use that right hand and push it into my right knee to use a little leverage for rib rotation. I might, when I get into it, choose to reach my right fingertips up, maybe turn and look up. Maybe forward, maybe down. How's your neck feeling today? Have you even paid attention? Or are you just trying to do what you think this shape should look like? I do it plenty, friends. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to walk our right foot out a little bit and bring our right hand down inside. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, softening, particularly the hips down, right? Don't let it just be your chin. Let it be the whole torso. Hopefully we start to feel some opening happening in the right hip left thigh area. And then go ahead and step the right foot back. Other side, left foot forward. Move into your lunge. Right hand under right shoulder, left hand on the thigh. Inhale, lengthen. Push that hand into that thigh and twist. Maybe arm up, maybe turning to look up. But again, don't just do something just because it's the shape. I can tell you different things we might find with each movement, but there are days I'm looking straight down because that's what feels the best in my neck, you know? What feels good in your body today. Walk the left foot wide, bring the left hand inside. Inhale, get long, and exhale, go ahead and again, when you soften down, don't just try to get your forearms to the ground. Don't just drop your chin in, let the hips drop in. And that's where the juju is, right? And go ahead and step that left foot back and come into child's pose. So I'm going to have us just be here for a few breaths before we end. This is where we'll end from. If you would rather go into, you know, a pose or two and or into Shavasana, you're welcome to. But again, this was just kind of a little ditty just to get us back into the rhythm. Notice what you notice in your beautiful body. Try to let every muscle soften from the crown of the head to the tips of the fingers to the tips of the toes. And friends, we're just going to say it from here today. You can imagine, even if you're not doing it, bringing your hands together, bowing your head in gently, just with reverence towards this body that we're in, towards this practice, towards this universal spirit we're part of, right? Namaste, my loves.